Hello, it is me, Pearl from Pearl and the Prayers, and this is Tuned In Tarot. And we are here to take a look at the balance between the divine masculine and the divine feminine energy inside of self, understanding that whatever state we find this energy in, we can expect to see that reflected back to us in our interactions with others, in our external environment. And if we want to see change, we do need to shift and change the energy within, and hopefully, my readings will help you do just that. And I'm seeing this comment. I can't imagine even dreaming of turning my AC off. Yes, my room is going to get quite warm, so I do apologize if I start to sweat. But I cannot hear myself think when the air conditioner is on. And as a person who records music, you literally have to turn your air conditioning on high, cool down the room, turn it off, record your vocals, put it back on. I'm so used to that. Oh God, you're in New Orleans. Honestly, it feels like New Orleans today. I'm from I'm up on the East Coast in northern New York. We have very, very humid summers here. Um Honestly, it doesn't touch New Orleans, but my experience there was the humidity was very familiar to me. I grew up with humidity like that. And then I lived in California. It was dry, it was really nice. It started to get humid though the last couple years that I was there. And I was like, oh fuck no. No, if we're gonna be 114 degrees, we're not gonna be like 70, 80% humidity. That's not a thing. And I'm leaving. And so I did. I'm like going someplace where it gets cold at least part of the year. All right, let's take a look. So we're doing the general week ahead reading. You might notice from the title that I did on YouTube that it looks pretty good because the cards that I can see in the overall and the underlying energy is like pretty good energy. So I'm looking forward. You can use this reading to get a general sense of what's going on in a relationship, but it is not meant to simply be a relationship reading. It is truly meant to look at your current energy in your life. And the energy that you are in is going to affect your relationships as well as it's going to affect your relationship with money, your relationship with your coworkers, with your family. So you can use everything in this reading to understand, honestly, yourself and what's going on within you, which is going to help explain what's going on outside of you. So keep that in mind when you're listening. When we talk about the masculine energy, it can reflect back to you from another person, but so can the feminine energy, because unlike some readers, I do not believe there are a bunch of divine feminines walking around, a bunch of divine masculines. You shouldn't be calling yourself a divine feminine or a divine masculine. You are not divine. You are anthropos. You have divinity within you, but you are yourself, not a god. Or maybe we are. I don't know. Maybe we are gods. But regardless, the actual idea that you are one energy as opposed to another is kind of antithetical to you being able to progress along your journey. What you have to be able to recognize is that you are a combination of both energies, and that you need both energies in order to live your life. And that's kind of what you're learning in this dynamic with people, as you're coming to understand how your own energy is reflected back to you. So the headspace, the masculine energy of the mind, the intellect, taking action, doing things, whatever. The heart space is the energy of the heart, the emotion, creativity, intuition, the connection to the divine. Both of those things need to be in functioning order in order for you to be doing well in your life or in any way, shape, or form. So, what is the overall energy for the masculine for this coming week? We have the Two of Cups. This is opening the door to a physical meetup, in case of in terms of relationships, but it can also be choosing, because twos are usually having to do with choices or decisions. It can be about choosing to finally do something that you really love, and considering that both of these individuals are holding gifts. I'm guessing that it is also really choosing to be able to like honor and share your gifts. So if this isn't about a relationship and this is more about your career or your finances or something like that, it's really showing me that you're making loving choices in regards to that area of your life, to wherever you feel that you might be gifted. And what is supporting that in the feminine energy is this beautiful Empress card, which is all about the energy of, hang on, I want to mute this. I can hear it buzzing in the background. There we go. It's all about the energy of, just leaning into your abundance. It's like being on a throne and feeling fully supported and feeling all of this really beautiful, abundant, all the resources that you have access to. Everything is like there right at your fingertips. You don't need to get up. You don't need to go anywhere or do anything. You just be, and all of these things are presenting themselves to you to choose what will delight you, is kind of the energy I get of these two together. There can be elements that there is a masculine energy here who is wanting to come to you and have this physical meet up with you, and you have attracted this energy to you rather than you being somehow chasing it. They're like finally coming to you, but they're not coming to you empty-handed anymore, which I think is a way that you were experiencing them in the past. It's like they would come to you and they'd be like, hi, I'm here. And you'd be like, cool. and they really wouldn't have anything to offer. It would just be like, this, they would sort of present that they had feelings of affection for you or something, but that was it. There was really nothing more beyond that. There was really nothing to back that up. And then it would just kind of stay there, and there would be no movement really. And it was pretty confusing, I think, for a while. But now what I'm seeing is when they're coming to you, when they're choosing to come to you, they are no longer coming empty-handed. They have something to offer you, and it matches whatever you have to offer them as well, which seems pretty exciting. In terms of a career or finances, this is really like whatever creative endeavor that you have. It's finally realizing that you are gifted and that you really bring a lot to the table, and choosing to honor that and choosing to actually, like, again, like I said, with the Empress energy, lean in to the idea that wherever it is that you're creative or gifted, that is a really abundant place for you. And this week is like confirming or validating that for you. The underlying energy is why I named this video No More Like Watching and Waiting, because we have the Page of Swords and the masculine energy in the headspace. And then we have the Death card in the feminine energy or the heart space. So I see something, a major transformation of something. And that thing that's transforming is this weird, creepy energy. This is the strangest, creepiest energy. And the Page of Swords does have that element of spying. And in this image, it kind of looks like this person is casing the joint. It looks like there's a butler here, and it may be like a really prosperous, abundant location. And it kind of looks like this person is trying to see, are they going to be able to like steal something from them? Are they going to be able to go inside and take what they want? It's kind of got vibes like that. And that's what's ending. The idea that somebody is looking and seeing how they can take something from you, or how they could get away with like being able to participate or be a part of this abundance without actually bringing anything to the table, like I talked about. That's ending. This person being too scared to actually approach you and say anything to you, again, that energy is over too. Or if you have been too scared to actually dive into a creative endeavor, whatever it is that you think, like this baby energy for me is like something that you're growing. If you have been afraid and you've just kind of been like, oh, I think I should watch some more tutorials on like how to make a really good YouTube video or something. If you're just kind of staying in those planning stages without actually just bravely sort of putting your stuff out there, that's changing this week. You're finally just going to be like, you know what? I am just going to put this out. Like, obviously, I need to like start to do what it is that I want to do, or it's never going to happen. So there's that energy coming from this week, which I love that. I love this energy. All right, so now let's look at what are we carrying in from the past? What is our current energy? And if this stays the same and we do nothing to change or shift our energy, what can we kind of expect from that? Which is how I do divination. Just to clarify for those of you that might be new, I do not do divination where I am telling you that beyond a shadow of a doubt, this is what's going to happen to you in your future. That's not how I do divination. I feel that my purpose is to show you your current energy, the past energy that informs it, and to help you to deduce that based on the thoughts and feelings you have in the past that are still true for you, and the thoughts and feelings you have in this current moment, then you're able to make a logical conclusion about what will result if you don't shift the energy. Or if things are going well, if you keep it the same, you're going to head in this positive direction. I feel that that is more helpful to you than it is for you to be like, oh, when is he going to call me? And me be like, oh, Saturday at 2 p.m. Because if you have any doubts about Saturday at 2 p.m., and you feed into your doubts about that person actually calling you at that time, or, whatever, then it literally takes whatever I told you and pushes it indefinitely into the future, because you control your future. The way that you're thinking and feeling about it is what's causing you to behave in certain ways. Those behaviors result in circumstances that align with your beliefs. So if you're thinking, my person is definitely going to contact me, but you get triggered by how, like, let's say in the scenario that I'm in, my person usually posts to social media. And so the only way I have to know what's going on in their mind is to make assumptions, which we know what assumptions are, about the posts. And so if I'm in a headspace where I'm not really believing that my person is going to actually reach out and contact me, then when he makes those posts, I look at them and I see from my perspective that he doesn't care, he's not paying attention, he's doing something else, it doesn't matter to him, there's no, like, whatever. I tell that story, I get on the defensive, and then I run away, or I go silent, or I'm like, fuck this, I'm not gonna deal with this anymore, I'm just gonna block him so I can't see him anymore, whatever. So my behaviors align with my beliefs, not with the reality. Because to be honest, we can't know the reality because we're making assumptions about it. So that is how I do divination. And I hope you find that helpful. And you can use that in any circumstance with any other reader. If another reader tells you, oh, this is going to happen at this point or something, take it with a grain of salt, because understand that when that reader read your energy, that's where you were. That's where your mindset was. But your mindset is not permanent. It changes all the time. And that's why reality changes and shifts all the time. Well. Looky. Okay, so what energy is the masculine carrying in from the past? We have here the Four of Swords. We see this blind man kind of just like tapping along here to see where he should go. There is a closed door, and the energy of the Four of Swords is one of rest, silence, no communication. It is one where it requires you to have a lot of faith. It's a card about prayer, and ultimately like a pause when something is on pause. And it's being clarified in the feminine energy by this Queen of Pentacles. So honestly, you needed to rest your pretty little head for a minute, and that rest that you gave yourself, it may have not been voluntary. There may have been an involuntary no communication type situation. But that situation really gave you the time and energy that you needed to pour into and nurture yourself. So you're showing up right now in the current energy, imbued with all of the qualities of the Queen of Pentacles. Someone who is tapped into their Empress energy, feels their stability, feels that they have power, independence, very nurturing. But definitely, if they're in a healed energy, this is somebody that knows they have to nurture themselves first, or else they can't provide nurturing to anyone else. And so you really learned the value of rest or relaxation, meditation, prayer, and you have learned to value the silence between you and another person because you have this mindset that it allowed you to do the healing that you needed to do to be able to actually enter into any kind of a profitable connection with them. So, if that doesn't sound familiar, if that doesn't sound like you, if you really don't feel that the communicate no communication between you is helpful or that you've really gained something from it, you may be coming here to these readings at an earlier stage of your journey and you're being called like to come to that conclusion right now. Hopefully the information you're getting today is going to help you realize how valuable that time really has been, and instead of resisting it, kind of just really appreciating it, because ultimately the Queen of Pentacles appreciates everything around her, all the beauty around her of the material world. She is thankful for it. She has gratitude for it. She realizes that that is really the source of abundance, is to notice how abundant the nature really is. And so that is the past energy that's being brought into the current energy. Currently, the divine masculine is reminiscing here with the Six of Cups. This is giving a nostalgic vibe. This is giving a vibe of like the stories, really kind of reflecting upon the stories that we have learned as we were growing up and the meaning that they have for us now and how they have affected us now. I see the minds really kind of reflecting upon that. And it is coming up here with the Queen of Cups. So we have here the Empress and two queens. And the idea of like two aspects of the feminine. We have the one that is very much involved with the material, and then we have one that is very much involved with the spiritual. Um, but two aspects of self, not two different people. This is definitely just the feminine energy. Right now, she is carrying in this awareness of how nurturing herself helps her to nurture others, taking that time to rest, recuperate, and really pour into her energy or whatever creative project she has resulted in something to really be proud of, I think. And in this current energy, what we see now is that whatever she had this desire for in her childhood, she's able to experience it as a matured, mastered queen energy. It's the energy of compassion, love, psychic, sensitive, spiritual. We see dolphins here and whales. So there's like communication vibes coming through there. Emotional intimacy is something that the Queen of Cups is very good at, very comfortable with. I also see the feminine energy providing this very soft place for the masculine to land. And right now, the masculine energy has appeared as a boy. Like we've got boyish vibes coming here. Um, a young man who is uncertain, and then we have this very wise, like aged masculine energy here in the Four of Swords. And that's the one who keeps quiet. That's the one who isn't really speaking. So if you think that your person not communicating with you is immature, you're actually wrong about that. This person, if this is about a person, and this can also be you, you also may have not communicated because you have this wisdom where you realize that if you are speaking or communicating from an unhealed place, you will perpetuate the past wounding that you had received that caused you to speak from this wounded place anyway. So there's this realization here that this masculine energy that remained quiet and didn't communicate with you actually was doing that from a place of wisdom. And it was really about, like I said, because this week there is an ending to somebody showing up empty handed. It's this energy that this person really didn't communicate with you because they didn't have in their mind, they didn't have anything to offer you that would have been significant enough for them to feel confident to come and approach you and have a conversation. And that is really what's changing. And I think that they're reflecting upon the past. I feel like there is this idea here that this person, I think, is probably he has probably taken the time to heal mother wounds, and I would guess you have as well, because we have all this feminine energy pouring through. We've got the Empress herself, who is literally the mother. We've got the Queen of Pentacles, also mothering energy, and the Queen of Cups, also known to be like mothering energy, much more so than the Queen of Wands or the Queen of Swords in the tarot. And so for me, really what's taken place is those inner child wounds that were all about maternal energy, nurturing energy, accepting energy, all those kinds of things. Those are really what have healed. And you're really sitting pretty. This is a week where you are sitting pretty, both you and this other person. If you have these childhood dreams about things that you've always wanted to do, like whatever your creative endeavor is, for me, it's my music, whatever, it's basically showing me that you really understand that those gifts are valuable and meaningful and beautiful, that they deserve to be seen. And you are really being, I think, tapping into your creativity from that childlike energy that first made you interested in whatever it was that you're doing. Where is this going? If you do nothing, if you don't take any advice that I'm going to give you in the oracle cards today, or any of the advice that's come through as I've been talking, if you don't do any meditation, if you don't do anything at all to shift your energy, what will happen regardless of what you're doing? We're getting here the Knave of Wands, which is the Page of Wands, and we keep getting the Page of Wands. If you have been watching readings with me on the reg, you are seeing that this card is appearing almost every single day. It's because it's about starting a conversation. We're seeing the Knave of Wands show up, and look what he has. The gift. The gift that we saw in the Two of Cups. He's literally coming to the door, your door, and he's bringing that gift. And it does look kind of like it's probably going to surprise you. And that's coming with, I can't believe it, the Six of Wands, victory. This is public recognition of your success and victory. So it's not just something that you experience, it's something that everyone is going to see. You are successful in whatever it is that you've done. And you're seeing the beginning of that success right now. I totally feel this. So like I said, if you're listening to this as a relationship, you're seeing that the inner child healing that you have done during this period of no communication has created a situation whereby you are now attracting energy that will start talking to you and publicly recognize this connection, which is probably something that has been a bit of a hiccup for you. Yes, the page is always there. It's not crazy, Rose. Oh, also, Rose, I wanted to make you, I'm glad you're here right now. I wanted to make you a moderator if you would like to be one, because you are here frequently. There, the moderator status now. So I do think that this person intends, if this is in terms of a connection, I think that this person intends to show up at your door with a surprise, and to do it also, I think, in front of people. This isn't something that they want to hide or keep secret. This is definitely something that they want to share. And it's your personal victory. It's the victory of the feminine energy. So it's the victory of like your most authentic self. So this is your brain finally deciding they're going to start expressing or exploring something creative that you've always wanted to do since you were a child, or you already have been doing that, and this is your brain finally like really showing up in a way that you haven't really been doing for yourself. This is where you're like, I really want to write a book, but I don't really consistently seem to like just write every day. And I know that if I want to write a book, I have to write every day, but it's really hard for me to get myself to do that. This is where your mind is like ready to show up, and you're going to be surprised at how it you keep going back to this creative energy and really trying to make this happen. Um so yeah, in terms of moderator, all you have to do is and you don't have to do it if you don't want to. I just know you're here often enough that I'll give you that status. But basically, if somebody asks a question when I'm doing a collective reading, and you're free and able to just say, hey, this is a collective reading, it's like that. No, it's no sweat. I know when Luna does it, she just copies and pastes stuff and like posts it over and over again. So um okay, so that is a beautiful reading. Now let's take a look at wow, okay. Now let's take a look at your oracles for the week to just give you a little bit of assistance going ahead this week. We're getting Peacock Spirit here, which is definitely that masculine energy getting ready to shine. And it says, let it shine. It's number 46. And here was Peacock Spirit's message for you this week. When is the last time you shook a tail feather and shined your light for all to see? Within each of us is a peacock spirit yearning for expression, and you are called now to show the world the gorgeous creature you are, for you are a manifestation of spirit. Come out from the shadows. And look at that's so interesting, because I feel like this Page of Wands card, it's almost like this masculine is showing up to the creative energy and saying, come out from the shadows, because we see her in that shadowy doorway. Come out from the shadows, Peacock Spirit says, and show your true colors so that others may be inspired to express their own exquisiteness. Dance as if you remember that you are made of stardust and grace, filled with life force energy and sparkling light. You are a channel for divine love, and your dance is one of a kind. Catch the light and help it to shimmer and dance in celebration of your good fortune of being right here, right now. Spirit wants you to be joyful so that others may get up and dance along with you. So you're really, really, really being called this week to honestly trust. We saw that High Priestess energy that came out before, and it's back. We actually have the same card coming out that I read in the reading I posted on TikTok. The Sisterhood of the Rose, beauty and devotion, priestess, mystic, and teacher. And I guess my guides really wanted me to read this full message to you today. This is number 78. Page 78, rather. And the message says, the Sisterhood of the Rose is a lineage of priestesses and mystics who devoted their lives to serving humanity and seeding light consciousness all over the earth. A cross-section of ancient lineages, it is the path of devotion and beauty. Walking this path means being devoted to seeing and creating beauty wherever you go. The rose symbolizes the heart and the sacred geometry of all life. You are being called to notice the beauty around you, particularly in nature, and hear the whispers of Mother Earth. Isn't that what I said about the Empress? That she notices, that she sees all of the beauty all around her. I think I said that also about the Queen of Pentacles, that she appreciates everything, all of the material, everything around her. You're being called to spend more time in nature, as all the ancient secrets live there. Mother Earth is constantly whispering. Spend time admiring her creations and you'll be rewarded with insight and grace. You're being called to take a little more time to both notice the beauty that exists all around you and contribute to the beauty of the world in your own way too. This could be through your own creations or in the little things like how you dress to picking flowers for your home. Every time you devote your time to creating beauty, you harmonize the planet a little more, and the shift in vibration can be felt. Your work, your light action is to surround yourself with beauty and create beauty wherever you go. If you are doing that, you are being successful. I heard recently, I don't remember who said it, but there was somebody who said, if you, an artist is successful as soon as they have released their art into the world. The action of releasing your art into the world is success. That is success. And if you try to define it with any other parameters, you will probably end up just being disappointed, because to make something and share it is the purpose. It is not to increase your wealth. It is not to increase your fame. It is not, those are the fixations of the ego, and they're illusions, because they make promises about fulfillment that those things cannot keep. Money and fame cannot fulfill you. And you know that. You know that. You know that. Everybody knows that. I remember when I was in Hollywood for 10 years, and I kept getting invited to these events, and I kept going to the events, and I remember thinking, the next event that I go to, and each one I would go to would be like higher and higher in my mind, higher and higher and higher. I would be getting closer and closer and closer to the celebrities that I admired and the spaces that they were in. And I kept thinking, like, the next party I go to, the next group of people that I hang out with, the ones that are very successful financially and in terms of fame, then I'm finally gonna feel that the thing that I've been chasing, like the feeling that I've been chasing this whole time, that I wanted this career in the music industry. And so then I would go to the next party, and it would be like this, just like, honestly, boring. Like, everybody was just working on being intoxicated enough that they couldn't really feel things. There was like this, you know, sameness, the same conversations. It didn't matter if I was at like a lounge in Silver Lake, like with people that were like barely scraping by, or if I was like at a house party in Brentwood, or like a rooftop party at a private pool downtown, the vibe was the same. And it was like this desperate, like, feeling. And the rich and famous people were, honestly, a lot of them were so fucked up, to really, really quite honest with you. Sad, lonely, isolated, like really out of touch, and complaining as much or more than when I would be at the places with people that still worked their like jobs as waiters. And, I worked at like a vegan popsicle shop. I drove for Lyft, and then I would get invited to go in and record in a studio like late at night for free and feel like a celebrity. It was just a really weird place. And I kept thinking, oh, very soon I'm going to see this magical thing that money and fame promises. And I never saw it, because it isn't real. There isn't a single celebrity right now, or a wealthy billionaire with billions and millions of dollars, millions and millions of dollars, their name in lights, the ability to, like, basically do quote unquote whatever they want, which actually isn't true. They really don't have a lot of freedom at all. You have more freedom than a celebrity has, quite honestly. um none of them feel fulfilled and happy by the money and the fame. If they feel fulfilled and happy, it's got nothing to do with that. It's nothing to do with that. And it's like, that. You know it right now. You knew it when you started. You know it right now. And you're going to let yourself conveniently forget about it as you keep trying to get it. But in the end, it really isn't going to fulfill you. It's not that you can't have fame, or that you can't have money, or that those things aren't fun. Or I don't think fame is fun. I think money is fun, but I don't think fame is. I don't think there's any part of fame that's actually really fun at all. I think that's such an illusion. I know, like, as a Leo, I've always wanted to be in the spotlight. And when I first started doing readings, virtual readings, like Zoom call readings with people, and they would get on a call with me, there'd be this weird thing where they would feel like I was higher than them. And I'd be like, no, 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 no. I'm going through exactly what you're going through. There was this weird, like they would put me up above and I didn't feel like, I thought that would feel good. Like years ago, I thought like, oh, when people treat me like I'm really special and significant, it's going to feel really good to me. It doesn't feel good. You're like, no, dude, I'm just like you. Like, please don't mistake me for something I'm not. So fame, I don't think fame actually feels good. Um, Leaving a legacy and knowing that people will enjoy it is probably a fulfilling feeling, but actually having to deal with fame itself, I think, is probably not at all what it seems like you would want. And I think that really getting a sense of creating something for the sake of creating it is the only thing that is fulfilling. And maybe that seems disappointing to you, like just making something and then showing it to your mom or your friends or, the 30 people who are going to watch your video on YouTube. Maybe that seems like it isn't good enough. But if that's not good enough, nothing is ever going to be good enough. It's not. And so you're seeking something that money and fame aren't going to give you. If you can figure out what you're seeking and give it to yourself now, you don't need any of that. You don't need any of the 3D trappings of it to give yourself the sensation that you deserve right now. The self-care card that came up for this week is actually the card that came up, I think. I can't remember if it was Friday during the Friday love reading or yesterday. I don't remember, but we've seen this card before. This is make a meal, and it's really nourishing yourself. This is so Taurus, by the way, for all my Tauruses out there. This Empress card coming out with a food card. Come on. Come on. It doesn't get more Taurus than that. Okay, so let's make a meal. Let's see what the self-care activity says. And remember that the self-care activity, I imbue that with a lot of power. Basically, I intend for you that whenever you do this particular activity this week with intention, that you are shifting and healing the energy of anything that surfaced for you today. If you're in a state of no communication with person and you really want to heal the communication vibes, when you make a meal for yourself, you're basically you're doing an action that is showing that you have faith in your worth and value. And every time you do that, you increase the likelihood that you would attract to you somebody with the same mindset about you. So it's an activity that is creating the healing that you need in order to receive what it is you desire. Your mantra is, I am nourished by food infused with love. And it says, when made with love and intention, food has the power to nourish us beyond a physical level. Prepare yourself a beautiful meal that's healthy and delicious, perhaps a favorite from childhood or a dish with seasonal ingredients bought from a market or shop offering organic and local produce. Remain mindful and present throughout the entire process, consciously infusing love and gratitude into the food that you make. Eat it with the same level of presence and appreciation, whether you are hosting a grand feast with loved ones or a weekend dinner for one, a simple dish or the most complex cuisine. Take great pride in knowing that your two hands created it. Your journal prompt is, what is your favorite meal from childhood? And how can you recreate this meal for yourself and make it equally meaningful and tasty? And the reason why that exercise is a good exercise for you, particularly this week, is because we did see this 6 of Cups coming up with that mothering energy. And I feel like you need some good old-fashioned mothering, and you need to kind of provide that for yourself. So making yourself a meal, and I don't think the meal should be punishing. If when you eat if the idea of making a healthy meal for you makes you think of food that is honestly like not tasty, like, just kind of bland, basic, like a salad or something, that's not a nourishing meal. If you don't think that a substance is nourishing on a soul level, like if you just think, oh, this is good for me and I should eat stuff that's good for me because I don't want to be fat, which by the way is fat phobia, then whatever it is that you're eating that's healthy isn't healthy. It's not healthy because it's not healthy to eat something that isn't in alignment with what you intuitively desire. And a lot of times our cravings have an intuitive aspect. Now you can say, well, if I crave Oreos, obviously my body doesn't need anything in Oreos, doesn't it? Perhaps you really do need energy. So maybe what you really your blood sugar is low and you need to raise your blood sugar. Now, when you raise your blood sugar with sugar, obviously you experience a downward spiral really quickly as soon as the sugar starts to leave your body. So, if you're intuitive eating, then you're going to add a step to the process of being like, I crave sweets right now. You're going to say, okay, I crave some sweets. That must mean that I need more energy. I know that if I eat sweets alone, I might crash. So I'm going to eat something sweet with some protein so that I have protein, which is going to help my blood sugar level out as I eat something sweet. And you might need something sweet because you need like some soul nourishing. You might need you might need glucose because you're a neurospicy and you have more synapses. Do you know that people that are neurospicy have more synapses in their brain and do crave more sugar? You've probably been demonizing that part of yourself because you're equating sugar with being fat. Also, kind of silly because there are very, very thin people that eat a lot of sugar. So, those two things are co-relational. They're not actually related. Um, in every situation beyond a shadow of a doubt. There's your own hormones, there's your body type, there's your genetics, there's the foods that you have that you're used to eating. There's all kinds of things that play into what your body looks like and how it's reacting to food. Um, so if you find yourself craving something that you're scared to eat, first of all, question what you're scared of. If you're scared of being fat, I want you to understand that the more food that you eat while in a state of fear about being fat, no matter the quality or the substance or the amount of food, you will create a scenario in which your body gains weight. You will just do that. You will do that because that is what you are thinking is going to happen. That is what you are fearing is going to happen. So that is where you're fixed or focused. Um, if you look at disease and being fat, what you will see is that normally the body responds to autoimmune issues with excess body weight. It is not the other way around. It is not, I get fat and then I'm sick. It is, I start out sick, my hormones aren't correct, like something that I'm eating, I'm not able to digest. I have like an unhealthy fixation on my weight. I have an eating disordered behavior around food. There is always an underlying issue that results in your body weight being more than is quote unquote desirable, which is also even completely subjective. So it is not the other way around. We have been convinced in society that you are making yourself fat and that is making you sick. And really, it is that your body is not processing something and it is creating more water retention, more fluid retention in your body cells so that you have more adipose tissue, which then, of course, starts a feedback loop of inflammation. So please understand that being skinny does not have anything to do with being healthy, nor does being fat have anything to do with being sick all the time either, because there are people that just have normally larger bodies that aren't sick at all. And that's just what their body is like. And it has nothing to do with anything that's about them being sick in some way. That's also possible. This is a hot button issue for me. I do work with people on spiritual nourishment, trying to help them change their beliefs, their mindset in regards to food and their relationship with food. And I can help you unpack some of that if you ever need help with that. And that brings me to my sale that I have going on right now. So if you book an intuitive guidance call, which is it's usually 60 to 90 minute session with me, you will receive a second session for free that you can book within 30 days of your first session. So you can have 2 sessions. And I am doing that. Cool. My live will end because it has detected inactivity and it's not allowing me to, there's nothing here for me to verify that I'm actually alive right now. So it just says it's going to end in 4 minutes and 45 seconds. There we go. Fucking TikTok with this shit. I don't understand what this is about. And I've noticed that it doesn't matter if people are liking the live, if they're commenting, if they're, it just does it anyway. So I don't know how to fix that, but it's really annoying. Anyway, all right, I'm getting off my soapbox now. That is the general reading for the week ahead. I hope that it helped you. I hope that you received insight. If you book an intuitive guidance call, you will receive one free within 30 days of the first call so that you can have 2 sessions for the price of one. If you would prefer to have a video recorded reading, you can see on my site that there is a yes or no option. That's for a 1-question reading. Or if you have more than 1 question or you want to tell me everything spread, you should choose the reading that just says video reading, and it's the $55 reading. That's for multiple questions, or the tell me everything. So go take advantage of that. Send donations, please, if you are feeling generous. I can absolutely use the help. And let's see if there's anything else I need to say. Oh, yes. If you would like to win a free session with me, a free hour-long session with me, there's a way to do that. You can go to TikTok or Instagram and find my track. I don't know if you've heard, by Pearl and the Prayers. If you want to see that track, you can go to my Pearl's Prayers TikTok, and it's just listed under the music tab. But I think you have to type in the entire title. I don't know if you've heard, because it doesn't pop up right away when you're searching for it. But if you type the whole title in, pull that song up, and create a video with it and tag me in it so that I know that you did it, I will add your name to a list. I have a small list of people going right now. And I will eventually be doing a drawing to choose somebody who will win a free reading. I was going to do I'll pick my favorite one, but that's going to be too hard. So I'm just going to do a drawing where I put all of your names together to win a session with me. But so far, I have a couple of people. I think I have 3 people. I am trying to get this music out to the masses. So I need way more than 3 people. I need 3,000 people to do it. So get going, get started. But please, absolutely, please, if you can go stream that song, share it. If you like the song, please share it with people. It's the only way people are going to hear it. That's how people hear music. The best recommendations, the same for my readings. If you want to help me out and help me book more readings, sending somebody a link to my reading is helpful, but sending somebody a link to my reading and saying, I watched her readings every single day and they've helped me so much, I booked a reading with her and it totally changed things for me, or whatever, the kind of feedback that I get when you all write emails back to me after I've done a reading with you and you're like, this was incredibly on point, it was amazing, I needed to hear it. Those kind of recommendations directly to another one of your friends that trusts you, those are the strongest ways to help me and help support my work, because people really tend to trust personal experiences the most. So I do appreciate that. If you have somebody that you think would want to work with me, let them know about the sale. Also, if you want to use your second session as a gift, I am not opposed to that. If you would like to purchase a session for yourself and then give the second session to your friend, your mom, your sister, your brother, I don't care. You can do that. However you want to do it. It's your session to use. I've been seeing a lot of success with doing it, the 2 sessions this way, because most people use the first session to talk about their person, which is totally fine. I get it. But the real work happens when you can talk more about yourself and figure out what you want and what you need, and how to give yourself that. And a lot of times we don't even get to that by the end of the reading. And I just kind of feel like I have to extend the reading so I can get that information in, and it ends up being too long of a session. So I wanted to basically split it into 2 sessions. So you could spend that second session really figuring out what you're going to do now and how you're going to go forward and what your life looks like, regardless of where that relationship or that connection is. You need to try this. You made a draft. Let me see. Oh, you made a draft. Thank you for doing that. Even when you just make a draft and save it to your drafts, that helps me. It does actually count when you use the track. So even that works fine. But the ones that people post, those are the ones that actually get the song out to other people. So I appreciate both things. I mean, just using the song, just streaming the song, very, very helpful. So thank you for that. I do appreciate that. All right, I am going to now end my YouTube session. But if you are really wanting to get a reading, I'm going to do right now $22 readings live. If you would like to get in on that, hop over to Pearl's Prayers to Tuned In Tarot on TikTok, and I will be there doing the readings. If you prefer a private reading, again, click that link in my profile and go ahead and book it there. Thank you so much, YouTube. I will see you probably Wednesday, I'm going to guess. But have a gorgeous rest of your Sunday. Okay.